Corporate and Lifestyle Television presents its weekly news bulletin, a compilation of stories that made headlines over the past week. Stay tuned and interact with current affairs in Namibia. My name is Tukram Khoja from CLTV News.
The Chuma-based GBT Slipper Manufacturing Company, which has formed a joint venture with Trans-Namib and Dollars Investment, being local partners, have reportedly been laundering more than $10 million through a local account, which was earmarked for dividend payments to the Namibian government. This was revealed by sources close to GBT Namibia, who preferred to be anonymous. CLTV is busy compiling an investigative report to unearth the complete story.
This morning we are at Senared in Chumep to talk to area manager Mr. Ignatius Kotongondo about all the beautiful things that they are doing in the town of Chumep. So join me and let's go hear what he has to say. Joining us this morning on Corporate and Lifestyle Television is Area Manager for Chumep Senared, Mr. Ignatius Kotongondo. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Welcome to Senared.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for having us. Let's get right into it. Now, Senared is celebrating 15 years of existence.
Yes.
Can you take us through the journey since you joined the company?
Yes, thank you very much once again. I joined the company 10 years ago, so I have been with the company now for 10 years. I was appointed initially as a debt management for the northern part of Chumep, for the northern part of Senared, because Senared is having two operational areas, one south and then the north. The north is actually compromising Chumep, Grootfontein, Otavi, and some outlying areas. But then eventually, yes, I was promoted and appointed as the area manager, commercial and responsibility, having responsibility on the operations network as well, especially at Chumep office. So it was not an easy journey. Remember that Senared actually took over the operation, electricity operation from the local authorities. And we initially operated from a rented warehouse, actually a sugar manufacturing entity, where we rented their office from. Thereafter, in 2011, we moved over to these new premises where we brought all our operations under one roof in this new state-of-the-art building that you are seeing now.
All right. Can you please tell us about your major projects that you have completed in your area?
Yes, if I can take you back, that when Senared started, Chumep was actually experiencing one of its most difficult period. The mine has just closed and economy of the town was actually on its knee. People actually used to refer to the town as a ghost town. But when we took over, eventually the likes of Dundee was coming into operation, a lot of commercial activities were coming into places. So we had to upgrade our income because now the demand for electricity in Chumep was actually now becoming more than the supply capacity. So the first thing that we have to tackle was to increase our supply capacity. So we have to upgrade our income station at a cost of more than 15 million because people need electricity. Electricity is no longer a luxury, it is a basic need. And in order to help the economy thrive in town, there must be electricity. So we have to upgrade our income station. We also have to embark upon projects like electrifications. There are some informal settlements here that were expanding, that were not there, but because the economic activities of the town was increasing, people were flocking to towns, the likes of Kubokiland and the likes of Samstan informal settlements were coming up, and then the previous compound and Dombo properties are areas that we that we have to electrify, as well as general upkeep and maintenance of the whole town's electricity equipment because they were really outdated.
That was, of course, the area manager for Senaret in Chumep, Mr. Ignatius Kumongondo. Keep it locked right here on Corporate and Lifestyle Television.
A major multi-million-dollar upgrade is planned for the 5 Rand camp to ease the electricity woes of the community there. The majority of the community resorted to illegal electricity connections, which pose a serious danger to consumers and their children living in the shacks at the camp. The poor communities living here are mostly unemployed adults, children, and NDF soldiers, facing housing challenges at the Osona military base near Okahanya and making a living through the sale of liquor at Shepins. Some people make a living through harvesting fish at the nearby Von Berg Dam and wood collected from the bushes.
They take the cable, they put on the cable, the other cables, the big one. Then they take electricity, they put in the cable. Then they pull. If they see the electricity is not enough, then they take the other electricity, they make nice. Then they take the plastic, they make. Then they take the solar tapes, they make also. Then they pull again.
Senaret has electrified 8,000 low-income urban households in Otjiwarongo, Tsumeb, Grootfontein, Ucho, Otavi, Okakarara, Korigas, and Kamayap, at a cost of more than $40 million since 2011, while some 18,000 households are expected to be electrified soon as a major boost to government efforts to eradicate poverty in Namibia.
The SWAPO Party is celebrating 61 years of its existence. Eunice Kaisep, member of the National Executive Committee of the SWAPO Party Youth League, has condemned acts of disrespect perpetuated against leaders of the Namibian Revolution by upcoming young politicians.
Our SWAPO Party-led government has immensely contributed towards social economic development. And a development is a continuous, it's a perpetual process. And government has brilliant strategies to redress these social economic challenges that we have inherited as a consequence of apartheid. As we are all aware, Namibia has been colonized for approximately 104 years, and our independence is close to 31 years, come March 21st, 2021. And I don't want to say only that we have the challenges are just contributed merely by apartheid, but it's also about young people participating in politics and also adding their ideas and you know, contribute with well-researched based solutions, not just to attack government left, right, center, and to insult leaders, as I've said before. We need to protect, you know, Africa, our African society it's a taboo to insult elders. It's a taboo to disrespect any elder in your village, in your society, in your township, in your location. So young people should position themselves, have, you know, mentors who are senior, whom they are looking up to, but good mentors, mentors who add value to your leadership. skills and expertise. And we cannot blame, as I've said before, everything on colonialism, but yes, we must take note that for 104 years we have been colonized as a consequence of the Berlin West Africa Conference that took place in 1884. And this conference has really stole our resources. But we need young leaders now who should understand how the resources of the country should help benefit our people.
CLTV also caught up with the first secretary for the Swabo Women's Council in Exile, Maria Nehoya, who is currently resident in Tsumeb. Nehoya further urged the youth to respect the founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, in his old age and to stop hurling insults at elders.
Hierdie tyd ons vergeet baie goed, maar dit was goed omdat ons het die mense het geveg en hulle het hulle se lande gekry en hulle is so bly, hulle sing, dans en alles omdat hulle het. Maar ons sê vir julle jong mense van moenie vergeet nie, volg net die pad van julle se groot mense wat hulle gemaak. Dit was nie maklik nie.
Ja.
En julle vandag alles is goedkoop en julle het alles kyk dat die foto's is goed. Julle moet net voor julle se groot mense se pad. Die tyd wat ek kind was, ek het soos 'n kind gepraat en wat. En toe het ek gesien my kop, die hare is wit. Ons wil net sê vir julle, julle moet nie vergeet om God se woorde te praat nie, of te eer jou God. Omdat jy nou is groot, jy kan niks meer iets doen nie. Ons moet weer vir julle, laat julle God se pad gaan. Al het julle alles. Daardie man is God en die Here Jesus.
Meanwhile, Swanu of Namibia's local mobilizer at Otavi, Maria Lawrence, said, instead of celebrating, the Swabo parties should do introspection and present credible and committed leaders to regions instead of uneducated persons.
When you tell the truth, you shouldn't tell the truth. You shouldn't complain. Whilst you are in Swapo, you cannot complain. If you complain, then you are against the party. But you know, I can't understand why people should believe like that. If I have a problem, things which are happening to me, bad things which are happening to me, I shouldn't complain. I shouldn't say anything. And that is wrong. And whereas when we are talking about democracy, you know, we are. It's a democratic country. and you have freedom of speech, but not in SWAPO. It's just something on paper, and also policies are made, and these policies are not implementation. You know, it's a problem because this SWAPO cannot implement programs. And as I said, I'm a philanthropist. I know I work on, I did project management and so on and so forth. And I know that this is supposed to be done like this and like that. But, you know, it's just, you are just talking. You're just wasting your time, your voice and whatever, you know, to talk about. Let us do this because you have a district coordinator who has never went to university. You have a regional coordinator who have never went as far as to secondary school. Now, what do you expect? The problems in Otsunjuba, and maybe you have also read in the newspapers, there are so many problems in Otsunjuba because of that, because of the people who are in charge don't know anything. Like the Americans would say, they ain't know nothing yet.
Minen Hotel is one of the historic accommodation establishments, particularly known for its German traditional cuisines. It is also a perfect stopover for those traveling to Namibia's Etosha National Park, as well as the Zambezi Street, formerly known as Caprivi.
It is a great pleasure to welcome you to the official opening of the sulfuric acid plant at Dundee Precious Metal here in Tsumeb. We at Dundee, we are committed to support the Harambee project. We can also tell the world that Namibia is a place where a company can invest with confidence in strong and stable government, but is reliable and trustworthy partner.
Today's official opening is a momentous occasion to have overcome all obstacles, all differences, pulled in the same direction for the sake of national progress. This project is one of the largest capital-intensive investments in Namibia. These are the type of investment we value. Investments that produce positive spin-overs into the rest of our economy.
The project, which took over 3 years to complete, had a huge impact on the national and local economies. At the peak of construction, the project employed over 1,400 workers and brought tremendous growth opportunities for the local community. These investments represent our commitment to improve the quality of life for our employees and the local community, and to reduce the impact the smelter has to the natural environment. It's very important to us that our actions honor our words. Our brand promise is we succeed because we care, and we must all succeed. And your presence here today underscores what has been accomplished by working together. Our company is more than numbers and profits. Our company is about people, both inside and outside the smelter gates. Wherever we operate, we look to do well by doing good.
It is a day of celebrations and recognitions of what we have achieved together. It is also a demonstration of our commitment to build a solid and successful future for our company, for our employees, our community, and our nation at large.
Thank you for coming here to mark this event with us, Mr. President, as we prepare to take the next steps onward on an even better future. We do so in solidarity with the objectives of your new government.
It is now my honor and distinct pleasure to officially inaugurate the Chumeb Smelter Asset Manufacturing Plant and declare the facility officially open for production. I thank you.
The regional technical head of Telecom in Zambezi region, Samkombo Bravo, says Telecom is committed to provide telecommunication services to all constituencies in Zambezi region.
Access to technology gives children skills at both technical computing and their ability to develop their communication with the outside world. Getting the children introduced to technical skills and ICT knowledge will be able to improve their skills in terms of world communication and enhance their knowledge. By providing orphans with the access to ICT, Telecom Namibia is ensuring that these children are competitive in the job market compared to those that won't be having access to this type of technology that Telecom Namibia have sponsored. It is therefore Telecom Namibia's willingness to sponsor computers, printers to enhance knowledge within this community. Maybe I'll extend the other few words on it that our region being one of the remote regions, we could be remote in terms of distance, but when we embrace technology, we'll be within the scope of the whole world. Where there is technology, there is knowledge.
The ICT Orphanage Center at Lizauli was inaugurated on 5th March last year. Supporters of the Landless People Movement at Combat called upon government to intervene in the deadlock between Combat residents and the company owned by businessman Knowledge Kati, who have refused to connect services to defaulting homeowners at the settlement.
I'm a resident of Combat. I also stay here for five years in Combat. Previously, we paid water and electricity to a groove mine. Groove mine provide us with all the services we needed. Not all, yes, a few services we needed. But since 2016, a certain guy, Mr. Knowledge Kati, in that Combat and claimed that Combat belongs to him. He did start price hikes, rent hikes from 300 to 1,300, almost 240 to 250%. Price hikes or rent hikes. Electricity was paid, rent was paid. We do our investigation and find out later on that these electricity which we paid was never ever paid to manpower. The house rent, we approached a group of a manager that so-called Mr. Jan and asked him what is going on. Then he told us that he got nothing to do with houses, that is knowledge studies issues. We don't know knowledge study whatsoever. We don't know where did he bought the town from, but he claimed that town belongs to him. Now all what we combat people want to know, from whom did he bought combat? From whom did he bought it? Because according to my knowledge, this town was proclaimed already in 2006, am I correct? It was proclaimed a village council. Now, how is it possible that a single person, can buy a town in the Republic of Namibia?
The fire officer for the Hennisby municipality, Koos Duran, has invited more volunteers to join his team of firefighters at the town to help extinguish fire breakouts which are rampant at Hennisby.
We have that 4 or 5 volunteer. One is a volunteer guy, Robert, and the other 4 is appointed firemen at the station. On every Saturday morning from 8 till 12, we did this training. The training is to keep the guys on the ball of each and everything that can happen. Give them training on the hoses, the pump, and all the equipment that's needed to fight a fire. That's what we did every Saturday morning.
How often do you get fire outbreaks here in Hennisby?
We are lucky not that much. The last time we have was last month, Pep stores, and it's sad to see things like this happen. Luckily, Omdial Hennisby is not that much, so we are lucky. We are fortunate to be in Hennisby. Main causes, mainly for fire outbreaks, is in our Omdial class area. Usually it's the use of candles, paraffin lamps, and then the thing is, it was very quiet for a couple of months, and as soon as the guy starts using alcohol, it seems like things is not going well. But we can't blame it, but it seems like it's part of that.
What can they do as part of precautionary measures?
Precautionary measures, it's difficult to teach the community, but if they can use the alcohol properly, not use too much of that, but be familiar with what can happen, because it's a lot of things that can happen. They're assaulting women, kids, and that stuff, and sometimes they let up some of these shacks, and we don't need it. So use alcohol precaution, don't misuse it. If you use it, put a limit on it, and that's it.
Tsumeb Constituency Councillor Godi Jenjela expressed sympathy to the families of late Duncan Tsumeb, who died on the 5th of April this year.
Message of condolence to the Tsumeb family and the entire community of Tsumeb. This is a letter coming from the Honorable Gottlieb Jenjela, the Regional Councillor for Tsumeb Constituency. It is with great sadness that I have learned about the death of your beloved son, sibling father Danki Tsumeb, who passed away on the 4th of April 2021. To the parents, the brothers and sisters, the children, it is hard to believe that your beloved son, brother and father is no more. My words of condolence and sympathy are meant to console you and the whole family, and wishing you strength during this time of sorrow. I know it will take time for you to understand that your beloved son, father, brother is gone forever. At this time of sorrow, may my condolences and prayers offer you comfort and ease the pain of this loss. During this difficult time in your life, I give you my thoughts, prayers, and best wishes.
Also, in a speech read by Max Johnson, Namibia's ambassador to the United Republic of Tanzania, Lebis Tobias, had the following to say.
Message of condolences to Mama Christina Hanganda, Mama Magdalena Subes, Duncan Jr., Grace siblings, and the entire family of late Michael Duncan Sube. It's with utter shock and immense sense of grief that I have learned about the passing of Michael Duncan Sube on the 4th of April 2021. Although God has already informed us to be ready anytime, for we do not know when he is coming back, no one of us had expected that Michael Duncan will depart soon from this earth. His death broke our hearts. I had personally known Michael as my former student. I had known him as a quiet person and someone who doesn't complain about anything. He would rather say everything is fine when you ask him about something. He was disciplined. He was a disciplined young man who maintained his discipline even after he was no longer in school. He could always give his respect to his former teachers and as well to the elders within our community. His good behavior has led to us to be friends since the days he was my student. Michael, as all of us might know, has been a soccer fan and a good soccer player, and not just a good one, but a very good one. His love for soccer with others has contributed to St. Francis School in Tsumeb to be known as the best and feared school when it came to soccer those years when he was a student there. Of course, I was the principal. I believe we still have some trophies in the office of the school principal, which were won by the team of Michael and the others all through his after many years now. In fact, the Sube family has produced very good soccer players, and I'm sure that most of the young people who are here this afternoon, this morning, who have known the Sube boys will agree with me that they have been stars when it came to soccer in our town, Tsumeb and beyond. I have called my Sube team. I have called them my Sube team as I was at a time a soccer coach of our school, St. Francis, although I was not a soccer player. I had a very strong team that had never disappointed me. My Sube team has been comprised of Victor Smalala, Uvukai, Michael Duncan Sube, Richard Belly the Kid, Aga Bullet Sube, Kennedy Shaq Sube, Alon Arnold Sube. That's my Sube team that I had relied on, of course, with others who were students together, but they had been always the front runners and we always kept the name of St. Francis School high.
The prolific soccer player was buried in Tsumeb last weekend. Former Chelsea and Southwest Africa Currie Cup team free kick specialist Danny Pieces Tamasap will be laid to rest tomorrow. The greatly respected footballer succumbed in a Windhoek hospital and will be remembered for his mentoring skills to young upcoming football players.
Take up your cross and follow me, hear me.
This is Grootfontein, the town of the former free kick specialist Mr. Pieces Damasep, where football was at its best during the 70s and the 80s, which forms the Maize Triangle alongside Otavi and Tsumeb.
Yeah, Pieces Damasep is a humble young boy born in Grootfontein. Yeah, grew up in Grootfontein. Married to Cornelia Damases in 1982. We have 5 children, 3 daughters, 2 sons. Yeah, it's a young soccer player. I was the captain of that unforgettable team of Chelsea Football Club. And through the leading of that team, I have been put in my life a special training program. Yeah, morning time in the afternoon with the team, where I consider most of the time on the shooting, which I have been overseen from France to Zimbabwe. Yeah, soccer in that particular, yes. Yeah, it's a young boy. You depend from your individual skill. Yeah, and that was also our part to be a great footballer. And I was also groomed by a well-known former soccer player and teacher, Mr. Lani Karise, the late one. And how I see soccer today is there is no difference when you see Black Africa playing African stars. Because the style what Black Africa play is the same style what Woestijn plays, which is not right. Every team must depend on his own style of play. Yeah, that makes the game more football. Yeah, it is. I will maybe fail in my knowledge of football if I have just to mention only one. But I will mention a few from our town, which are the late ones. We got the late Doc Hardley, we got the late Malaka, and we also got the late Zondi Amadina. Those are the boys from Grootfontein. They were very good. Yeah, and after coming back in 1983, I have been shooting a goal against Black Africa, which I have been given by the Stellenbosch farmers when it is 500 for the fastest goal at the Independence Stadium in Window. By that time, the managing director of the Stellenbosch was the father of Bianca Prach, the first Swa Namibia. This is Namibia at that time. It was before independence. Then in 1984, we break away from the white dominant area of football because they were having their soccer field, and through having that, they were preceding us. So we break away with 8 teams to form this NFA what you see today. Yeah, it was Chelsea, Benfica from the north, and the 4 Katutura giants, Tigers, Orlando Pirates, African Stars, and Black Africa, and the 2 from the coast, Blue Waters and 11 Arrows. And later on, by 87, 88, it was up to 10 teams. So from then on, my cousin Damasek came in to become a soccer president of NFA. And through that, he changed a lot of things. He created less payments for the players which are in standard today. For international players, there is an amount which they are paid. For international friendly, there is an amount. For World Cup qualifier, there is an amount. For a normal African Nations Cup qualifier, there is an amount which are today. But the one thing which lives in our soccer is we are still in that category of amateur soccer. But our teams is acting like that we are professionals, which confuse the whole thing. Now today, if you have a player play for Black Africa, you must pay him, sorry maybe to mention the name, you must pay him 8,000 or 10,000, yeah, which the teams cannot afford. But if the players themselves also can be seen in that category, that let us also be humble and go back to the roots where our fathers were starting, to be humble to the teams. Then you will see soccer will grow. Okay, life is getting expensive. You cannot tell them just to pay for free, but it is having dual power needs. Yeah. Your discipline and also your cooperation with the team. Yeah, there is only one rule. If you don't want to be under the rules of the team, you will never become a good player like us. We were managed only by one person, which name is Mr. Elias Uwanga. But we listened when that man was talking. All of us were listening. It's therefore that you have to see Chelsea was so good. If you compare Chelsea that years and Chelsea today, you see that it is having a lack of discipline. Yeah. We have started consuming alcohol with the years of 29 to 30. Today, players with the years of 16, 17 is already drinking, which is wrong. If you are a sport person, you must be strict under the discipline to reach one day. Yeah, and also when it comes to physical fitness, yeah, I was admiring Bruce Lee when it comes to Kung Fu. I only take two things from Bruce Lee. When it comes to athletics, I was admiring Carl Lewis. In that Carl Lewis, which I was admiring that time, here in Namibia, I was admiring the late Lani Karise from the Soviet Union. He was the man who was doing all things. Yeah, he can jump, he can run, he can box. So it was for me a very wonderful thing to learn from him. If we go to that side of politics, from the early years, the 70s, you know, that's Mr. late Engelert Karise, which I mentioned, with the late Anna Kayele. The meetings of the Swabo Party was held there. And there's the Honorable Asad Kaperes and there's Lady Kanyo, they will come there. And they say, young children, we used to run behind that car. Saturday or Sunday, when most of that time the rallies was only on Sunday, under the trees here. The only big rally started when that time when the late Hendrik Wekwe accompanied Honorable Toiwe when he come out from Robben Island. Hold the big meeting here at the soccer field. That was the first big rally of the Swapo until the independence. So therefore, you see where I'm sitting, I'm full. I'm not half, I'm fully Swapo. And that's the party which I support with my family. Even the younger ones, when I'm not there, I already groom them not to turn another side. I'm a Swapo member and I'm a Lutheran church member. And I believe also in Catholic. I don't have anything against the churches, but I believe in those two churches. Honorable Namadi said, in Grootfontein, it was the year 1991. And that time he was working for New Era newspaper. He's a journalist. Yeah, he's a young journalist. He was very hardworking and a straightforward person. He never tell the story to be what another side. What he sees is what he's writing. And through that, he deserved to become a deputy minister today. He's a very hard-working young man. Yeah, the Honorable Engel Namadi said. I give him also the nickname of Son of Africa. Yeah, and that Son of Africa comes from having a group of 5 men. It is me, myself, the late Dr. Damaset, and the late Ifige, he himself, and then Mane Ubukai. When we used to talk politics, we will start with the late Samora Machel, and then we will go to the late Nelson Mandela, and then we will come to our founding. Yeah, and the topic will change that, which one from them is more powerful and so on. But later we will see that, okay, the late Machel, he never have a writing speech. He will just start anything talking about what he does. His words are very strong. Yeah. And that was also giving us encouragement to be part of politics until today. And that is how the Honorable Namadisa has been grown up. He's a good man. Don't make a mistake. Yeah. He's a fully Christian man. And another thing which I was also praying for him is to get married like me. And he did it. He's married to a beautiful wife. And that is what I say, thanks to God. Yeah. When a person grows up, you also face that side of God. And that is to be married also. And also, some of you will follow. I see and think that the Honorable Minister, he is still very young. He can go far, even to become a fully minister, or either to be an ambassador, either to Germany or to Brazil. He's also a good player during his days, and he was the next former field specialist. He's a friend also to a non-goalkeeper, and therefore I recognize him after I retire. He's a former field specialist. I hand over the title to him, so he was the bomber of Chume, and the bomber of the national team, the Brave Warriors, Girls we call. So it is up to him to forward the title to the next former field specialist. But I recognize him after I retire that he is the next former field specialist, without no doubt. Oh, that man can shoot. Ask the goalkeepers. I cannot call their names now, but ask them. They will tell you that no. Even some of them, you will see that he is shaking if he hears the name. I remember that one against Botswana. Yeah, when we beat Botswana, I think it was 5-0 at the Independence Avenue. He was having 2 or 3 goals in that particular match. But the first one here allocated to me is showing that no, this one is for my elder, former free specialist. Other one is, I remember also that day it was in Okanja. It was a crucial league game against Liverpool of Okanja, Chief Santos in Liverpool. Liverpool was leading 2-1 and Keros has made that game 2-2. But unlucky they lose on points difference. So Liverpool winning that year the league on points difference. It's where I see that he break that wall of the Liverpool defenders. No. I will fully defend that football is being born in the circle of the north. We talk of the north, I will start it from Porijas. Now it's in another particular regions, new called regions, but it was Porijas, Ucho, Ochivarongo, Kutavi, Chume, Fonde. Yeah. Soccer is born in crazy here. Example, if you take the team of Black Africa and you count that 11 players on the soccer field, 4 or 5 is coming from the north circle. If you take African stars, 3 or 4 is coming from the north circle. So soccer has been grown up here in this particular region.
The CLTV management have announced the hosting of a gospel and church choir competition which closes on the 25th of May next month. The competition is only open for participants from the Maize Triangle, being the towns of Tsumeb, Otavi and Grootfontein.
That's so special about this party. You don't need a partner. Hey! Hey! Hey!
I want to pay very, very special recognition to this mother whom I describe as the mother of the media revolution during the heydays when it was so difficult and risky to expose the brutal atrocities that were committed by the then colonial forces in the regime, leading to 21st of March 1990, independence. Now, Gwen Lister was a name that was associated with the media fraternity at the time when some of us were cadet reporters. And we were so much inspired by her bravery to face the colonial regime hands-on through the pen and the notebook.
They realize that the outcome of a free and fair election would probably mean a SWAPO victory, and I think at all costs Mr. P.W. Botha wants to avoid the SWAPO flag being raised in Windhoek. But as far as Resolution 435 is concerned, it is the only plan on the table, still 10 years later. No other alternative has been given, even by those parties objecting to it. It is most definitely the settlement plan which is preferred by the majority of the Namibian population.
I really want her to feel recognized by this government, by this republic, and by the nation at large, to be part of the one Namibian house.
We as government have decided to decentralize the function over the mandate of the media to report factually to the rank and file, the citizens of the Republic of Namibia from all corners of this country. We are at the coastal town of Swakopmund in the Erongo region. As functionaries of the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, we felt this very important event marking the World Press Freedom Day 2019 should equally be celebrated in other regions and to be moved from the capital city of Windhoek. As you may recall, the idea about World Press Freedom Day originated from the Windhoek Declaration on the promotion of the independence of the press, the pluralistic press, which was adopted in Namibia during the year 1991. We are appealing as government to the media to report objectively and to be factual in their reporting, because of late we have observed scores of attacks on individuals by the users of the social media. We don't want to regulate the use of social media as a government, but we are encouraging those that are utilizing these platforms towards self-regulation, so that there should be no need for government really to intervene as a form of protecting those individuals who become victims of circumstances and become prey to attacks through the social media platforms. Therefore, some of us have been party to the development of those objective ideologies and agendas that enhance and promote media, the freedom of expression by the media, by individuals in this country. Therefore, as a citizen journalist, let us join the world. Let all the regions in Namibia join the media fraternity in enjoying and celebrating the World Press Freedom Day 2019. In 2 years to come, Namibia will be hosting the international celebration of the Windhoek Declaration, which was adopted in our country in 1991. Now next year, Netherlands will be hosting World Press Freedom Day 2020. Succeeding year will be the opportunity for Namibia to host this important event. Therefore, I'm appealing to all the stakeholders, non-governmental organizations, the officers, ministries, and agencies of government, individuals, all media houses, to converge, to come together so that we could already initiate the preparations in hosting this important event come 2021. Are you rolling? The media is government's partner in enhancing democracy and promoting socio-economic well-being of our people. And thus I call upon the media fraternity to continue playing its role of being an informer and of being an educator and entertainer in order to promote peace and stability and ensure that citizens are empowered with information that help them make well-informed and meaningful decisions. I would like to reiterate the government's commitment to ensuring a safe working environment and access to information. World Press Freedom Day 2019 is a major opportunity to advance the agenda of deepening democracy and sustainable development in digital times. Free, independent, and professional journalism, both online and offline, serves as an essential role in democracies. It provides information that allows citizens to make informed decisions inside and outside the voting booth. It holds the powerful to account for the integrity, peace, and fairness of an election. Journalism can also contribute to the electoral agenda by requiring politicians to respond to the public and to focus on subjects of real public interest. This includes the social development goals, a common cause that is agreed by the global community that range from advancing peace and human rights to ensuring cultural diversity, gender equality, combating of poverty, creating sustainable cities, and countering climate change. Having said that, I would like to conclude by inviting the regional leadership, the governor, the mayor, the regional council representatives, the local authority councillors, non-governmental organizations operating in the regions, stakeholders, as well as the entire community, to celebrate World Press Freedom Day 2019 in their respective districts, constituencies, and the regions. This is a major achievement that Namibia as a country has got to be ranked by Reporters Without Borders as the #1 position, because our government is providing that conducive environments for journalists to enjoy, since we are providing access to information and uphold the rights of citizens towards the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression. Welcome. Thank you.
The Minister of Works and Transport, Honourable Alpheus Narasep, in absence. Honourable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, representing various ministries here. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works and Transport. Chairperson of the NAC Board of Directors. Members of the Board in absentia. Captains of Industry, Management of NAC. Esteemed stakeholders, distinguished members of the media, Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, a very good morning to you. My name is Nankelo Kashongwa, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm the Corporate Communications Manager for Namibia Airports Company. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning as we celebrate the inaugural flight of Eurowings to our flagship airport, Hosea Kutako International Airport. To begin this program, I have the pleasure to welcome the chairperson of the Namibia Airports Company Board, Mr. Roger Scota, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Please, everybody, welcome Mr. Scota.
The Minister of Works and Transport, Honorable A. Narusep in absentia, and ably represented by Mr. Cedric Limpo. Honorable Deputy Minister of Public Enterprises, Mr. Navatisep, and Honorable Deputy Minister of Mines and Energy, Shilunga. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works and Transport in absentia. Acting Chief Executive Officer of NAC, Mrs. Soroses. Captains of Industries, Management of NAC, esteemed stakeholders, distinguished members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues. It gives me great pleasure to extend a very warm welcome on behalf of Namibia Airports Company to you all present here. We are grateful in that you once again accepted our invitation to celebrate with us the inauguration of another milestone in the history of NAC. I am pleased to confirm the arrival of a new world-class airline, Eurowings, at our flagship airport, Hosea Kutako International Airport. Eurowings is a low-cost airline specializing in affordable direct flights within Europe and from its Cologne-Bonn location. Eurowings operate 2 weekly direct flights on a Monday and Thursday with the Airbus A330-200 that accommodates 310 passengers. The same aircraft that we just viewed outside. The arrival of the new airline is made possible by the international cooperation efforts of our government, which signed and effectively implemented bilateral agreements with its respective counterpart, the government of the Federal Republic of Germany. As NAC, we stand to play our role of airport service provider and state vehicle for implementation of the above national policies. But I must mention that none of this will be possible without the support and leadership of our Line Minister, Honorable A. Narusep, and his team at the Ministry of Works and Transport. Indeed, the advent of this new airline into Namibia presents significant national benefits and opportunities for Namibia as a country and the traveling public. We envisage the benefits to accrue from these new roads to include increased tourist flows, increased business passengers, and economic growth and employment creation. The arrival of the new airline will not limit the share of the existing bases of passengers. Rather, it will increase the demand for travel for both business and leisure purposes. Additional tourist flows will be generated from the new destinations and the connections these airlines offer, allowing Namibia to expand its tourism base beyond its traditional markets. The same applies to the additional opportunities offered to Namibia and international passengers to reach out through the facilitated travels. Finally, according to the International Air Transport Action Group, every additional air route generates economic growth, provides jobs, increased revenue from taxes. These are realized through the purchases of services by the new airlines, as well as the recruitment of personnel directly by the airlines for ticket sales and other services, and by suppliers, retail, food, and beverages and other services. Passenger survey conducted by the International Air Transport Action Group showed that new air routes enable better contact and more effective communication between buyers and sellers, which contributes to companies making new sales and to meeting the needs of their existing customers. Having world-class brands at our airports, such as Eurowings, is an endorsement for the good operating environment that Namibia has created to attract investment. At NAC, we take our role seriously to deliver on the national goals in order to provide the airport infrastructure required to participate in the economic growth and put Namibia on the global aviation map. As we all know, Hosea Kutako International Airport has exceeded its capacity, and we have developed strategies to manage the increased traffic movement sustainably through slot allocation. Despite all these challenges, Hosea Kutako was voted the 6th best airport in Africa at the Skytrax Awards, the Oscars of the aviation industry. NEC is committed to infrastructure development as per our mandate. We are excited with these developments, and we would like to welcome our partners in true Namibian spirit of Harambe. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Kota, for that warm welcome. Next, I'd like to invite to the podium the General Manager for Lufthansa Southern African Group, Dr. Andre Schultz, to deliver a statement on behalf of Eurowings. Please welcome him.
Dear Honorable Minister, dear directors, dear friends, partners here in Namibia, all protocols observed. Guten Morgen, good morning, and a very warm welcome on behalf of the Eurowings Group. My name is Andre Schulz. I'm the General Manager of the Lufthansa Group for Southern Africa, actually based in Johannesburg, and it is a big pleasure for me to be with you this morning here in Windhoek, Namibia. It is a very special morning for us as we have just seen the first touchdown of an Eurowings aircraft here in Windhoek. Eurowings is a quality low-cost airline of the Lufthansa Group, which you probably know is the biggest airline group in Europe with an annual turnover of 32 billion euros. The Lufthansa organization consists actually of 3 premium carriers, which is Lufthansa, Swiss, Austrian Airlines, and they are present or will be present in Southern Africa quite extensively. We're actually celebrating 55 years of Lufthansa in South Africa this year, 15 years of Swiss in South Africa, and we just had the announcement that Austrian Airlines is going to start flying Vienna-Cape Town in 2018. So in addition to these premium hub airlines, the new Eurowings platform is a quality, low-cost airline offering innovative and competitive point-to-point services for more price-sensitive customers. Being an integral part of the Lufthansa Group, Eurowings benefits from the group's synergies, but operates largely independent from our Lufthansa Group hub airlines. We call that best of both worlds, meaning quality as well as low cost. We are proud to state that actually Eurowings is currently the fastest growing airline in Europe. This growth is based on organic growth as well as acquisitions. First, we have seen some aircraft shifts from Lufthansa to Eurowings. Then in 2017, 33 aircrafts have been wet leased from Air Berlin, and the growth will continue with the upcoming integration of Brussels Airlines into the Eurowings platform in 2018. So this means more planes, more flights, more passengers. And exactly this Eurowings expansion includes the new long-haul route Cologne-Windhoek, which is offered twice a week. The Airbus A330 carries up to 306 passengers, 17 in best. This is the Eurowings product category that is equivalent to the Lufthansa Premium Economy, and 289 in Smart and Basic, which is equivalent to Lufthansa Economy Class and Standards. Today we are proud to have seen the punctual arrival of the first fully booked Eurowings aircraft in Windhoek, which we are very proud of. Thank you. So maybe you would ask yourself, in a global world, why did we pick Windhoek? Why did we pick Namibia? Well, we see that Southern African markets, and especially Namibia, present significant opportunities for growth, both for international and local businesses. So Windhoek reveals an increasing popularity as a tourist as well as a business destination. So there has been a strong business case for Eurowings to link Namibia to Germany and to Europe's major tourist and business hubs by adding Windhoek to its global network. This route addition extends the Lufthansa Group vision to provide leisure and business travelers access to memorial experiences and market opportunities. And I can tell you in this regard, Namibia is a very special and a very important market for the Lufthansa Group. Maybe on a personal note, let me share with you that I have experienced the exceptional beauty of this country and the omnipresent friendliness of its people during private holidays with my family here in Namibia. And I can truly say that I have become a big Namibia fan, and I'm sure that we will generate many more new Namibia fans among our Eurowings passengers. So as mentioned before, the time was right for us to introduce this Cologne-Windhoek route in light of the growing business and tourism demands for routes to Namibia. On the other hand, we also believe that there's a strong potential of Namibian customers who will be able to take this new Eurowings flight to visit their friends and relatives in Germany and in Europe. Overall, we can say that Eurowings' low-cost, long-haul offering is a success story, and that's why the airline will continue to expand sustainably in the future. This growth will not only be driven out of Cologne Airport, but also out of our hub Munich, where Eurowings will deploy 3 long-haul aircrafts, and that has just been announced in Germany last week, Friday. So looking at this strategic development of our German home markets, and based on the positive booking outlook for the new Cologne-Windhoek route, I'm actually very happy to share some further Eurowings news with you today. And that is that as of May 2018, Eurowings will start operating a new Munich-Windhoek service as well. And also this service will be served twice a week in addition to Cologne-Windhoek service. So you can say with Cologne and Munich, Eurowings will connect Windhoek to 2 major German cities in the future, and we are very proud of that. And I can clearly say that this confirms Eurowings' long-term commitment to further strengthen ties and connections between Namibia and Germany, which will further bolster tourism and facilitate the increased business opportunities. You can see that there are a lot of dynamics on Eurowings, but also on a Lufthansa Group level, and I can assure you that we will continuously monitor the potentials of the Namibian market and review possible route extensions and increased frequencies from a Lufthansa Group perspective. Hence, I will most likely become a frequent traveler now between Johannesburg and Windhoek, and I'm very much looking forward to closely working together with all of you. And having said that, thank you very, very much for all your support here in Namibia. Thank you very much.
Vielen Dank, Dr. Schulz, für die weisen Worte und wir freuen uns, Sie hier in Namibia zu haben. Vielen Dank. I said thank you for that, for your statement, and indeed, we're happy to have you here in Namibia. Our keynote address today will be delivered by the Acting Deputy Permanent Secretary from our line ministry, the Ministry of Works and Transport, Mr. Cedric Limbo, on behalf of the Honourable Minister who could not be here with us today. I ask that you please give him a warm round of applause to welcome him to the podium.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Our Honourable Deputy Ministers, I recognize Honourable Navatsep and Honourable Shulunga, the Chairperson of NAC, Mr. Roger, the Acting CEO, representatives from Eurowing, Namibian Airport Company senior staffs, senior government officials present, media, all protocol observed. It gives me great pleasure to be with you and witness a signal of a new gateway opening with the arrival of Eurowing flight to Windhoek this morning. This route not only opens a new market for Namibia, but also demonstrates our established diplomatic relation and strong and fruitful as it allows for European to come for vacation and do business in Namibia. Namibia and the Federal Republic of Germany are important partners, and our bilateral services agreement has made it possible for Eurowing airline new services to be launched today. I hope you'll give your support, further expand this bilateral air services agreement to promote more flow of trade and investment between and beyond both countries. This ceremony also provides the opportunity for Namibia to intensify our efforts to attract visitors for this very important European market. It's our wish that this new route, Cologne-Bonn to Windhoek, will grow strongly, because this will certainly be one of the best way to help people-to-people relation between our two countries. And it's also good for our tourists. Distinguished invited guests, Eurowing is part of the Lufthansa Group. For those who don't know, it flies over 130 destinations across Europe from 7 locations in Germany. From Cologne, you can fly non-stop in comfort of destination to Dubai, Bangkok, the Caribbean, and as we have witnessed, to Namibia today. The advantage that comes with these services cannot be overemphasized. As tourists allow for exchange of culture and sharing of ideas, which create a unity across borders, one that is not easily replicated without personal interaction and face-to-face exchange. Namibia is blessed with genuine and authentic experience on our sunshore and the experience of wildlife, the destination and wildlife, and friendly people with all the cultural diversity. Distinguished invited guests, Hosea Kutako International Airport is supported by a limited network of air services arrangement, and is worth noting that it had effected about 4 new routes last year alone, with more to come. Let me just indicate here that through our bilateral air services agreement, we have been able to invite a lot of airlines to allow for connectivity. Now it's up to our SOEs to have commercial agreement to harness what government is trying to do. Distinguished invited guests, to keep growing and to respond to ever-increasing air traffic demands, our airport indeed needs to undergo an expansion. I think the chairperson has alluded to this, and following after the legal issues which we have, I think government is seriously looking at that. With that in mind, and while source resource to finance this project of such magnitude, the government has enabled NAC to complete brand new Ondangwa Walvis Bay Airport Terminal within a period of 8 months. The rehabilitation and upgrading of Ondangwa runway, which was completed during the month of August 2016, and we are currently looking at rehabilitating and upgrading the taxiway and apron to Category 4C. These efforts are geared toward alleviating operational issues at Hosea Kutako International Airport through option provision, as well as to increase the local capacity at our national airports. It is our wish that once expanded and upgraded, Hosea Kutako International Airport will be poised to serve our millions passengers. And this number is really within reach because of the bazaars and the signaling of all these airlines which are coming almost on an annual basis. I don't know how rusty my German is. I think Madam Kachonga is better than me, but I'll try. Welcome, hat, sis, haben. I don't need to, that don't sound correct, isn't it? But what I meant is to say, welcome to Hosea Kutako International Airport. Welcome to the city of Windhoek, and welcome to the land of the brave. I thank you.
Now we're going to give the ceremony a bit of a Namibian feel. It's Namibian house, right? Brick by brick. And we're going to welcome our cultural group, Ihuna Meme, to give us another stellar performance. The floor is yours. ask the Acting Chief Executive Officer of Namibia Airports Company, Ms. Josephine Sorases, to please come and close off our program with a word of thanks. Ms. Josephine Sorases.
Good morning, everyone. I am bestowed with the honor to give the word of gratitude, which is a little word with a lot of meaning and value. The Minister of Works and Transport, Honorable Alfius Ngarusep, in his absentia, represented by Mr. Limbo, Acting DBTPS, Honorable Deputy Ministers, Minister Honorable Shilunga and Honorable Navatisep, Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Works and Transport in absentia, Chairperson of the Namibia Airports Company Board of Directors, members of the Board of Directors of Namibia Airports Company in absence, captains of the industry, management of Namibia Airports Company, esteemed stakeholders, distinguished members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues. It is a privilege and a great joy for me to acknowledge and give a well-deserved vote of thanks at this milestone-achieving occasion of the inaugural flight of Eurowings Airlines from Cologne, Germany to Windhoek, Namibia. Allow me to extend my profound gratitude to our shareholding minister, Honorable Ngarusep in absentia, for officiating, and all other cabinet ministers and deputy ministers for gracing us with their presence to witness the maiden flight of Eurowings. Despite their busy schedules, your esteemed presence clearly signifies your tireless support and commitment to promote air service development. Let me thank our partners, Eurowings, for deeming it fit to extend your services to Namibia to be part of your air service network. We are indeed honored by your decision, and we pride ourselves in promoting Namibia as a preferred destination. I am humbled by the visionary and inspirational leadership of Namibia Airports Company Board of Directors. We truly appreciate your collaborative support to ensure that we yet again host another route to operate at one of our strategic airports, Hosea Kutako International. The technical team of Namibia Airports Company, who worked tireless day and night organizing this event, your hard work and dedication towards this event will not go unnoticed. We thank you for teamwork and coordinated efforts. To all distinguished invited guests, I equally am honored by your presence, in that you decided to travel all the way from Windhoek to honor the occasion physically. The show of goodwill will continually be appreciated. Thank you. Vielen Dank.
And with those short, sweet words from our acting CEO, we have come to the end of this morning's program. I invite you all for the refreshments, tea, coffee. Once again, on behalf of Namibia Airports Company, Eurowings, our ministry, everybody else, thank you for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
Hallo, ich heiße Pretty und ich setze mich vor der internationale Flughafen von Hosea Kutako, Namibia, und willkommen zu der Show auf der Reise nach Namibia. Ich sitze jetzt hier vorne, weil ich jetzt Touristen warte, die jetzt angekommen sind mit der KLM aus Amsterdam gekommen sind. Und ich hatte ein Interview mit den Touristen und gefragt, wie viele Male die hier waren und wie ihre Reise hier nach Namibia ist und wie viele Male die schon hier waren. Also guckt das mal jetzt an und genießen Sie das. Ja. Hier bin ich mit einem Mann, der jetzt aus Amsterdam geflogen ist, und ich habe nur ein paar Fragen für ihn. Hallo, und wie heißen Sie?
Armin Hespel.
Okay. Ich wollte nur fragen, wie wissen Sie von Namibia? Wie kennen Sie Namibia so gut? Wer hat Ihnen erzählt von Namibia?
Aha, ich habe keine Erfahrung mit meiner ersten Zeit. Okay. Ja. Ich rede Bücher oder Dokumentär. Ja.
Okay. Eine Frage nur. Ich wollte fragen, sind Sie hier mit Familie gekommen oder sind Sie hier alleine gekommen?
Ich reise alleine. Ich habe 2 Freunde. Zwei Freunde. Und wir reisen mit einem Car. Mit einem Auto, ja.
Nur noch mal eine Frage. Ich wollte fragen, welche Plätze werden Sie denn besuchen, wenn Sie hier sind? Also, was haben Sie schon gehört? Also, welche Plätze? Ist es Swakopmund?
Erst Naukluft. Nabim Naukluft. Sosuslai. Luderitz. Kettmannshoop. Und zurück. Ja.
Und wie lange? Also eine Rumreise, okay. Und wie lange werden Sie denn hier sein? Wie lange ist Ihre Reise?
Nur eine Woche.
Eine Woche.
Das ist zu kurz.
Okay, danke schön, vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank.
Okay.
Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen. Okay, ich wollte fragen, wie lange ist Ihre Reise hier in Namibia?
3,5 Wochen.
3,5 Wochen. Und wohin besuchen Sie denn?
Wir gehen nach unten, nach
Sossusvlei.
Und dann nach oben Swakopmund und dann weiter nach Ugabrino und dann nach oben nach Etosha, Kasane und dann durch Botswana und dann wieder zurück nach Namibia.
Ich wollte noch mal fragen, seid ihr nur zu zweit auf der Reise oder eine Familie?
Zu zweit. Wir haben einen Sohn zu Hause, ist 23, zu alt.
Und ich wollte noch mal eine Frage fragen. Wie weißt ihr von Namibia?
Wir wollten nach Australien fahren, aber wir waren oft da gewesen. Und dann haben wir, ein Freund hat gesprochen über Namibien und er reist niemals. Und wir waren erstaunt. Und dann haben wir entschlossen, wir gehen mal gucken.
Schönen vielen Dank und eine schöne Reise weiter. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Bitte schön. Dankeschön. Bye. Danke. Hallo, ich heiße Preti.
Hallo, ich heiße Bashar Helmut.
Okay. Ich wollte fragen, wie war dein Flug auf der KLM, wie Sie angekommen sind?
Das war ein gutes Flug auf den KLM. Viel Spaß für die Beine und gutes Essen. Und ich habe viel geschlafen. Das war sehr gut. Aber es war sehr hoch, die Flugzeug. Es war besser als die Flugzeug, was lager war. Weil sie kann sehen viel mehr auf was da unter ist. Ja.
Ich wollte noch mal fragen, welche Plätze werden Sie denn besuchen, wenn Sie hier sind?
Ich gehe nach Opuo und Epupa Falls. Das ist ein sehr schönes Wasserfall. Und ich gehe auch nach Sossusvlei und die Skeleton Coast.
Und wie lange werden Sie denn hier in Namibia denn reisen?
Wie lange ich Geld habe. Wenn die Geld weg ist, gehe ich viel zurück nach Hause.
Das war eine schöne Antwort, ja?
Ja.
Dankeschön. Bitte werden Sie denn Ihre Reise hier genießen, bitte. Und
Danke.
schöne Zeit haben und viele Abenteuer haben.
Dankeschön. Ne?
Bitteschön.
Viel Spaß mit dem Programm.
Okay, danke schön.
Okay, tschüss.
Tschüss. Dankeschön.
Kein Problem.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye. Ich bin wieder hier im Hosea Kotako Fluchthafen und ich habe Leute mit mir, 2 Herren, die hier mit mir stehen. Und ich wollte nur mal ein Interview mit einem Tourist machen, der jetzt gerade angekommen ist. Hallo, ich heiße Brett und wie heißen Sie?
Ich heiße Björn, hallo.
Wie lange werden Sie denn hier in Namibia reisen?
Dieses Mal 4 Wochen, also einen Monat sind wir wieder hier und ja, wir freuen uns.
Wie viele Male waren Sie schon mal hier gewesen?
Das ist jetzt unser 4. Besuch in Namibia und wir kommen immer wieder gerne her.
Und ich wollte fragen, seid ihr mit einer Gruppe oder einer Familie oder mit Kindern oder sind Sie alleine gekommen?
Na, die anderen Besuche vorher hatten wir mal mit Familie gemacht und jetzt haben wir mal eine zweite Familie mitgenommen, damit wir ihnen das wunderschöne Land zeigen können.
Ik wil toch net vir u uitvra of vir u 'n vraag stel. Wat is u se werk hier by die airport en wat is die koneksie met die toeriste saam met u se werk?
Ja, ons blijkbaar kom tel hulle op en ons vat hulle na ons kantoor toe waren hier die voertuie hier bij ons. En hulle maak die beste van hulle se saak, van hulle se kant af, wat 'n company vir hulle die beste voorsien in Namibia.
Baie danke. Und, ja. Und ich wollte noch mal fragen, welche Plätze werden Sie jetzt dieses Mal besuchen? Was geht los? Wie sieht Ihr Abenteuer aus? Oder
Erstmal zur Westküste, dann wollten wir den Süden machen, rüber nach Südafrika und dann Richtung KTP.
Und freuen Sie sich schon auf der Reise? Sind das neue Plätze, die jetzt besuchen? Oder besuchen Sie noch mal einen Platz für das zweite Mal? Oder wie geht es dieser Rutsch?
Na, an der Westküste waren wir schon mal, aber dadurch, dass wir jetzt noch eine zweite Familie dabei haben, wollten wir noch normal fahren und den Süden von Namibia bereisen, weil wir da noch nicht waren. Und da freuen wir uns schon ganz doll drauf.
Haben Sie denn Familie hier in Namibia?
Schön wär's, nein, habe ich nicht.
Und ich wollte fragen, wie war Ihren Flug? Also wie war es auf der KLM-Flug?
Gut, aber Flüge sind immer zu lang.
Natürlich wird das immer so lange sein. Und noch mal eine letzte Frage. Ich wollte fragen, ob Sie, wie wollte ich jetzt, jetzt hat meine Frage jetzt ausgestellt. Okay. Haben Sie schon eine, wie soll ich sagen? Ich weiß jetzt nicht, was mir zu fragen, aber das war Ihr Name, was ich fragen wollte. Habe ich das schon mal gefragt?
Ganz am Anfang.
Okay. Ich bin ein bisschen nervös, aber vielen Dank, dass Sie schon dieses Interview gemacht haben mit mir.
Bitteschön, vielen lieben Dank.
Okay. Ich bin wieder zurück und ich bin mit einem neuen Gast, der schon hier in Namibia war. Er wird jetzt erzählen, wie seine Reise in Namibia war.
Meine Reise in Namibia war sehr schön, sehr vielseitig. Wir haben ziemlich viele Flecken von Namibia kennengelernt, aber ich denke bei weitem noch nicht alle, weil wir waren nur 2 Wochen unterwegs und ich glaube nicht, dass das reicht, um so ein großes Land wie Namibia komplett kennenzulernen, aber ich glaube, wir haben zumindest einen sehr guten Eindruck bekommen.
Okay, und hat es Ihnen so viel gefällt, als Sie wieder zurückgekommen sind? Oder haben Sie Familie hier in Namibia? Erzähl mir ein bisschen davon, wenn Sie können.
Also ich habe keine Familie oder Verwandten hier. Das war mehr oder weniger ein Zufall, dass wir in Namibia gelandet sind. Wir haben einfach uns umgeschaut, wo wir gern hin möchten. Und ich denke schon, dass ich wiederkommen werde, weil es gibt noch so viele Orte zu sehen, wo wir jetzt nicht waren, zu denen wir es leider nicht hingeschafft haben, weil wir halt einfach zu wenig Zeit hatten. Genau, und deshalb muss ich wahrscheinlich einfach nochmal wiederkommen, um noch die anderen Orte zu sehen und vielleicht auch ein paar Leute, die ich hier kennengelernt habe, wieder zu treffen.
Das wird aber viel Spaß machen. Wollen Sie mir mal erzählen, welche Plätze ihr jetzt dieses Mal besuchen wird? Also haben Sie schon etwas getarget oder wie?
Also beim nächsten Besuch dann oder die wir jetzt besucht haben?
Die, was wir jetzt hier besucht, oder?
Also wir sind klar in Windhoek angefangen, dann sind wir hoch zum Etosha, da waren wir dann, ich glaube Namutoni heißt es da, und halt einmal quer durch den Nationalpark gefahren und dann über Tsumeb und Otjiwarongo sind wir...
Nein, das geht jetzt zu weit. Du kennst schon alle Plätze, also alle Städten hier.
Ja,
Hallo.
nicht alle, ein paar vielleicht. Dann über Otjiwarongo wieder Richtung Süden nach Swakopmund. Swakopmund waren wir nur eine Nacht. Danach sind wir nach Walfish Bay gefahren. Und dann von Walfish Bay wieder Richtung Süden nach Solitaire. Und Sossusvlei natürlich im Namib-Naukluftpark gewesen.
Das sind jetzt so viele Plätze, so in ein wenige Zeit. Und sag mir, ich wollte nur herausfinden, ob Sie, wie soll ich das jetzt fragen? Ich habe so viele Fragen, aber nicht erst eins kommt raus. Ja, okay, ich wollte jetzt fragen, woher haben Sie von Namibia gewusst oder kennengelernt?
Das ist eine gute Frage. Also ich war vorher schon mal in Afrika, ich war in Tansania und dann irgendwie hat mich der Kontinent generell schon immer sehr gereizt und dann wollte ich nochmal herkommen und dann war es mehr oder weniger ein Zufall dass wir in Namibia gelandet waren, weil zu dem Zeitpunkt, als wir uns damit beschäftigt haben, wo wir dass wir in den Urlaub fliegen möchten, waren dann auch die Flüge nach Namibia sehr günstig und dann haben wir uns ein bisschen informiert und dann dachten wir, oh, das ist ganz schön reizend und dann ist es Namibia geworden, ja.
Also ganz vielen Dank für Ihren Interview und so.
Dankeschön.
Es freut mich sehr, immer jemanden kennenzulernen und so, aber ja, Dankeschön.
Danke auch.
Okay.